Really nice. What were you going? We're
What's up?
live. We're live now, T.
Oh,
Okay. Welcome, T. Thank you for being here. So
thank you
let me
for having
start
me.
off. So
Yeah.
we just got the news that Senate Foreign Affairs, particularly Senator Cardin, Senator Booker, Senator Kane, who are all in the Foreign Affairs, are being concerned about the situation in Ethiopia, along with two other senators, have just released a press statement as well as a letter that went out to the new a special envoy to Ethiopia who is supposed to be leaving this weekend. I don't know. Have you had a chance to read it? Let's talk about that. And I wanted to first and foremost just thank the staffers, the senators, and everyone that worked in such a short time. And we'll talk about the letter in detail to make this possible, and then also our community in Washington D.C. There are thousands of Oromos, thousands of Ethiopians in DMV area, particularly in Maryland. They work with the senators, so I wanted to also thank them very, very much for making phone calls for the last 9 months, for sending in emails, for just being a voice for what's happening on, especially after Hachalu's killing. So I was very pleased to see for the first time the Senate is speaking about the situation of all Ethiopia, and the focus has been in the Tigray area, and that have really did a little bit of damage in our community. As you know, it felt like Oromos were being killed, but for some reason, it's just like the U.S. government is only interested in the Tigray situation, and that kind of sent, in my opinion, a wrong message. So I'll let you take yours, and I'll come back to and say a few more.
No, Sena, thank you. I just want to echo what you just said to start. I want to make sure we thank Senators Ben Cardin, Tim Kaine, Jackie Rosen, Cory Booker, and Ed Markey, and all their staffers that has been working on this issue. And not only for the letter, but for just bringing the concern that we have in Ethiopia right now, to bring it to light to the for everybody to know, and also for to aid and give information to the special envoy to Horn of Africa to do something about what's going on right now. It's very sad, as we all know. It's heartbreaking, and some places very barbaric stuff are going on in Ethiopia right now, and it looks like the senators have some understanding of some of the things that are going on there, and they understand that something needs to be done. And from their letter, I understand they are willing to work with the special envoy to strategize and bring some sort of resolution to that area, bring some kind of calmity and normalcy to the area. Obviously, the interjection from the U.S. and other international communities is very critical and needed, as people on the ground or locals are not willing. Mainly, I'm pointing to the government, or very slow to address some of the issues, or even some issues are being ignored. So this is a very critical letter that just came out, and we really wanted to start by thanking them and all other people, like Sena said, that have been working on this specific urgent matter.
T, you and I got dive right into it because we saw the letter, we read it, and we were really thrilled and came on. There's a lot of our audience who really probably have not read the letter yet, have not read out the press statement that OLLAA put out, as well as press statement that Senator Cardin have put out. And I just wanted to say that if you haven't, you can find that press statement on OLLAA website, as well as and Senator Cardin's office. You can also find it as well as on social media, OLLAA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I know all of you know what OLLAA website is, but just to make sure, it's OLLAA.org. I just wanted to add that, just so they know where to go.
Thank you. That's something that, here it is. So thank you so much, our engineers in the background, Nadia and you, uh, for showing this. So I think, T, what I want you to kind of touch base in it, as you know, our community, we work with the Kimant community, we work with the Benishangul, there are not a lot of them, it's very few. We work, with the Tigray community. Rightfully, the situation about Tigray did get not sufficient, good attention. But in the last 6 months, I don't know, how did you feel? What do you think? Because I know what the community felt, the silence from the US government, and then also maybe you could say a little bit on that. And then also, what does this say? I'm saying so openly for the first time that the US Congress, to say Senator Cardin, let's go back. Senator Cardin is the one that wrote the first Senate resolution in 2016. It was the Senate resolution from Cardin office that transitioned into the House resolution that passed as HR 128. So Senator Cardin is very committed to Africa, committed to Ethiopia, committed to human rights, committed to good government, and have been speaking about the atrocities in Ethiopia for a very, very long time. So it's not for me surprised to see Senator Cardin push for some kind of accountability, push for the whole Ethiopia. And I just wanted to say, for our viewers who just came in, Senator Cardin just brought a press statement. 5 senators wrote a letter to Special Envoy, who was appointed exactly a week ago today, who will be traveling to Ethiopia to pay attention, not just in Tigray, but also what's happening in other parts of the country, because Ethiopia is unraveling as we watch it. And the fact that the US government is not saying anything is, as well as when I say US, I'm an American citizen, so I'm saying it's my government, so I have to say that. But the silence of the international community is enabling Abiy to continue killing with atrocity, with impunity, and then also our thousands of hundreds of thousands of Oromos, hundreds of thousands of Ethiopians who are suffering with Abiy and felt like the Congress have not really spoke about it. And you see about Benishangul, the killing in December, they get right into that one, and they talk about the election cannot be. Thank you. So election is a 3-page letter. So the election cannot fulfill credibility, international standard. So this just say right to it that Abiy might be pushing as hard as he wants. So this, I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing a turn of event. I don't know what you think about that. See the letter, what it means, and as well as.
Well, I really want to say, by adding to what you started, not only that he's been, I'm talking about Senator Ben Cardin, not only he's been involved from back in the days, but it shows that him and his staffers are knowledgeable about the facts on the ground, because this is probably one of the most balanced letters that came out in regards to the region in the last 2 to 3 years. The reason why I try to give him, I want to give him a lot of credit for that, is because, as you know, Abiy's government has discontinued and blocked every means of communication from some of the areas, including Oromia and Tigray, so that no information, no credible investigation, no independent investigation can be done. Nothing can come out. So it's very hard to actually capture to the extent of the damage that's been done in that area. It's extremely tough. I know there are some refugees that made it out of the area, were able to tell us some horrific stories about some of the areas, but there are a lot of areas that we haven't heard from yet, because internet blocked, news medias are not allowed to go in there, humanitarian assistance that are not allowed to go. So all of this combined makes it very hard to come out with the letters such as this, a very balanced letter that tried to capture the violence that's going on in Ethiopia all over the country, including Tigray, Oromia, Benishangul. I mean, everywhere you go, there's trouble. And this letter, the reason why I think it's very balanced letter compared to other letters that we've seen, especially in the last since November. Since the Tigray war, the civil war broke out, I'm having a hard time even calling it civil war, because foreign governments are also involved, as we all know, Eritrea being primary ones that involved in the war. But since the civil war started targeting Tigray, TPLF and Tigray people, to be specific, the attention from international media, international government has been on the events that happen in Tigray. But remember, Sena, since Abiy Ahmed, the prime minister, came to power on the backs of the Oromo youth and others in 2018, there are some areas in Oromia that has been facing, if not to the extent of what Tigray is facing, been facing daily tortures, harassments, and killings, extrajudicial killings. And the whole international community is being quiet. So it makes me very happy to see that this letter has mentioned some of those. Thank you for the signatories of this letter. You see it on the screen right now. These individuals understand what's going there and understand the holistic problem that's facing Ethiopia in all areas. And I hope they hold the government of Ethiopia and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed accountable for some of the allegedly war crimes that has been taking place and the atrocities and human rights abuses that has been happening. And not only just the government, but also any parties that have been involved in such atrocious activities.
T, we can say so much about this because, to be honest with you, while what happened in Tigray is tragedy and it is very unfortunate, the world, have been saying, but they've not been acting, and we hope they act. But they have to understand that U.S. government have to understand that Oromia account to 50% of Ethiopian population. Forget about even nothing else what's going on in Somalia area and what's going on even in Amara area. Oromia alone will create instability in Ethiopia, even if you fix what happened in Tigray. So for the senators, it's way past due, and I'm glad they are speaking this because privately, we meet with a lot of their offices and share what's going on. But privately, I know they talk to the State Department and then ask them to be vocal because Secretary of State, he just came out Friday, spoke to the Prime Minister Abiy, and he focused on the Tigray. And we want that change to be seen because Abiy brags about the fact that he kills Oromos, and he have been doing for 2 years, and nobody say anything. The U.S. government is now concerned. So I think this sent a clear message, not only about killing Oromos and killing other Ethiopians is equally important to 500,000, if not more, Ethiopians living in the U.S. and probably millions more living around the world. But also about the election. If you've seen that, in a current trajectory, Abiy is working so hard. He doesn't want to have a dialogue because he thinks that the election will give him some kind of legitimacy. But we know that's not going to give him any legitimacy because the election is not, credible. And, the senators say that the current trajectory. So this is the first, time the senators have spoke about it. And we hope to hear from our Secretary of State a balanced statement, and it's good quote. We want continued focus in Tigray because what's happening there need to be stopped. Not statement, need tangible action. But what's happening to Oromos, what happened to Command, and for specifically who are being murdered in the middle of Amhara region, and nobody's speaking for them. They don't have a voice because they're not that much in number. You want to talk about ethnic cleansing? Amhara Regional Force is doing ethnic cleansing to Gumuz, to Wallo in Amhara zone, and Command, and nobody is saying. So it is so much to be said, and it's like our government need to understand that the situation is only getting worse by second. Silence is enabling Abiy to continue doing what he do. And I do understand that, saying a little bit more like how far can we push Abiy is some of the argument that's being made. But for the sake of time, I'll shorten my statement on that is that I think this is a pass through, and I'm so pleased that Senator Cardin take a lead and Senator Corey, and so all of them, all together have wrote within a week. Remember, this special envoy is just appointed. Before he traveled to Ethiopia, he had this letter. So it is made clear to him, both privately and publicly, that situation in other parts of Ethiopia is important to the U.S. government. And we hope to hear from our own senators from other states, because we are American citizens and we are concerned about what's happening in Ethiopia, that we would like for them to write publicly about what they think. We know what they think privately. So I will end it with that. And then for our Oromo audience, Yerobra Debinetini, I think I'll give you the last word, but Yerobra Debinetin, but in a Ratias of Nanjeda. Go ahead, please.
Oh, thank you, Sena. You said some you brought things that are very critical. I just want to mention a couple of things to make it short from the letter and then end it at that. One of the lines that I want to read verbatim is: the senators also expressed concern about ethnic violence elsewhere in Ethiopia, not just in Tigray, but elsewhere in Ethiopia. The spate of violence has devastated communities. This statement is fact. I mean, this is a true statement that communities has been devastated. What this letter, or I know because it's, you can't make a letter go write details in every single letters, but what this letter is missing, and what this letter is probably pointing to is this violence that are happening elsewhere in Ethiopia. Of course, there's somebody behind this violence. Of course, there are some active participants in this violence and devastating these communities. What I want the public to understand, and also maybe the senators, if they ever had a chance to listen to this maybe recording, is there are some groups that are organized, some by the government, and some to paint groups like Oromo in a negative light, that will organize and try to make it look like that, especially violence that are happening in Oromia region against some other ethnic groups, is an organized and orchestrated event to paint Oromo in the negative light. And as we know, Sena, Oromos have been peaceful people living amongst with other ethnic groups for many generations. So I want to point that out. And the second one I want to point out is what's in the letter. It says, we hope that you will support the independent investigation of human rights abuse committed in Oromia, Amara, Benishangul Gumuz, Tigray, and other regions. And I can never agree enough with this statement, because independent investigation into all atrocities that have been happening and is happening right now in Ethiopia is critical. And bringing all perpetrators, all violence committers, if that's the word, to justice and hold everybody accountable. And this independent investigation has been requested by many international communities, but the government of Ethiopia has been blocking. I call on the Ethiopian government, allow independent investigation, especially if you don't have anything to hide. Allow that investigation to happen, and let's see what that investigation brings forth. And thank you for pointing that out. Independent investigation, and of course the Special Envoy to Horn of Africa. I hope they push for that independent investigation into. Everybody's been asking for independent investigation. Even armed forces that are fighting against Ethiopian government are asking for independent investigation, showing clearly that they don't support violence against especially civilians. All those horrific rapes and tortures, killings that we've seen, especially in Tigray region, we've seen perpetrated by this Ethiopian security forces, Amara militia forces, and vigilantes, and some armed groups that have been doing this for a very long time, to be honest. So it's coming to light, and I'm happy to see this letter. And hopefully this is not the end, but just the beginning. And I hope they will pursue this to the end until they see the independent investigation, until they see people coming, accountable for their actions. If there are possible war crimes, hopefully those all will come to light. And I'm really looking for not only these 5 senators, but others should join forces with them and push for this. Thank you, Sena.
Yep. Thank you so much. See, I think we want to thank our audience, and thank you so much again, Senator Cardin and all other senators who put out this might seem small state, but it is extremely big to us, because for so long, in the last 6 months especially, we have lost over 1,000 people killed by security force, that we did not get, the Oromo community feels like they did not get the attention they needed. So this means a lot to us, and thanks to our thousands of constituents in Maryland and all other states, New York to Nevada. So I wanted to thank everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Sena. Well said. It's unfortunate what's happening in all areas, and hopefully there will be an end coming soon. Hopefully, stop sham elections, stop harassment, everything. So I hope to see an end to this. It's very heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, to say the least. So thank you, our audiences, and thank you, Sena. And thanks for people that are working in the background
Yes.
working with us with technical stuff. So you guys are the main part of this. And thank you very much. And
indeed, thank you, Nadia. Thank you,
yes.
Ayu. Bye-bye.
Yes.